Well, folks, as promised, we are back immediately after AEW Dynamite. I mean, immediately is kind of generous term, but we're back about 8 minutes after AEW Dynamite. It was a very interesting show, a very different show. Manny, is your TV playing? I mean, it's fine if it is, but I mean,
Oh
probably
shit!
not the best.
I thought I muted it.
just a mix of me and like ESPN playing. Your
Yeah,
phone.
except for it's Fox Sports 2. I'm watching
Okay.
Juarez versus Pachuco
My
soccer game.
God. God bless. How are you tonight, pal?
Good. I have an update. Isn't Bill John? Wait, is it Bill Johnson who I called out earlier?
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson. Uh, Update is Bill after I found him. I saw him during the show calling out MJF and I quote, I am not a fan of cursing. That was it necessary for at MJF to spew
Wow.
some of those words on worldwide TV?
Wow, he was
Shouldn't
spitting, huh?
A shouldn't AW higher ups keep in mind at 8 p.m. there are still kids watching wrestling? They can halt that kind of language. Why don't they? Is it cool? Nope, it is bad. Bill, after I'm coming after you in your PWI top 500, and this MJF tweet just shot you up to number 2. Davey Meltzer
Wow.
is number 3 now, and ROH guy is number 1 still, and I'm still looking for him.
Yeah, he's gonna be hard to top. I feel the
Yeah,
fuck RH guy. He's that's the unthinkable. Um,
he's gonna be my white whale.
I agree with this. It's actually one of the things I wanted to get into. Like, I Will Tonight was a good show, damn good show.
Yeah,
Especially the second half, it was great. But man, it was like noticeably different. Like, it's clear that I think there's a few things Tony has wanted to do with this show for a while, and he's had too many things on his plate and hasn't been able to. And he is like focused in on um on trying to change the pacing of this program. Last week it was noticeable, but I didn't know if that was as a result of like the emergency kind of circumstances. This week, I think it shows that like he's going to pace this show very differently moving forward. Before we get into like the segments, how did you feel about the way the show is formatted tonight, the way the show is paced? It was very, very different than we've come to expect with the kind of all over the place frenetic dynamites that we've come to love, but have been a little bit wild at times. What did you think?
it felt kind of weird because I'm
Yeah.
used to everything just hitting the wall and just like explosive, but kind of felt like the show was building up to something, and every match that they had kind of built to a better match,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which kind of sucked for like my kind of enjoyment because I wanted Moxley and Sammy to be good, and you can kind of just tell like it was
Yeah.
just for whatever. But then I guess Swerve in Our Glory was awesome, and then the women's tag was really good. And
Yeah.
then
The finish kind of lost its way, but it was really good.
and then
Main event was
Danielson
unbelievable.
and
Yeah.
Danielson and Jericho, man, I knew you had it in you guys. I knew I had.
Honestly, bro, I didn't want to say it, but low key legacies were on the line right there. You know what I mean? Legacies were on the line. This was serious business. If Chris Jericho had two stinkers with Bryan Danielson, I was about ready to fucking erase him from the list of greatest of all time. He's back. He's still on there. So
I want to
it was,
believe that cage match score was up there on the board. I want to believe it.
yeah.
And
I
Tony,
thought that
when
match
they're
was
walking,
great.
and when they're walking out, Tony just pointed at the board and said,
Make me proud. I thought that match was fucking awesome. So there is a lot to talk about. I agree with you. It took some adjusting to. The other thing with this show was the first hour, the crowd was not like red hot, and they didn't give him a lot to go like crazy for. They popped huge for MJF. Obviously, he was trying to get them to boo him. What
mm-hmm.
got the crowd really rocking was Swerve and Swerve Keith and the Lucha Bro. They got the place fucking moving. It was a real cool moment for them. Just a really interesting show. I think philosophically, the idea that Tony went from 0 to 100, I can't believe. Like the idea that Tony 2 weeks ago was like, fuck video packages too. We need one for every match. Something's like that was interesting to me, that happening, the way it happened. Um, I
there's
liked
only
where it brought. Good.
there's only one video package, right? He kept typing up video packages,
Well,
and there
no,
was
but
only one.
it was not the video package is probably the wrong term for it. Like, the pre-tape promos?
Oh,
That's
okay,
what he was
okay.
referencing. The video package was the Bronx, the
The
Hook Bronson deal. But he was referencing like the YouTube promo clips. That's what he was going for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know that one for each. They did the Twitter promos and that whole thing. So that's what he was going for. I highly doubt he's gonna have the time to do that every week. I thought that was like it's something that he'll do once and be like, that was fun. It's one of those deals where I think I like what it does for the show. And I think it makes it a much easier watch rather than it being like, what the fuck just happened? It definitely will take some adjusting to for like some of the viewers because I think even you just said it about the opener. Like this was much more traditional than we've come to expect with AEW, right? Usually it's just like every segment is just swinging for the fences. That wasn't what we got today. It was much more traditional wrestling TV, which I've been calling for. Are you a little concerned if they go more in this direction, it will limit your enjoyment? Where do you stand on that kind of part of it? Are you kind of like let it play out? What do you think?
I'll let it play out. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not gonna tell the Lucha Bros that if they're gonna open up a match and be like, open up Dynamite and be like, hey, you guys gotta go slow, take it easy.
Yeah.
You have some wrestlers on that show that they're not gonna care.
Mm-hmm. This is something we do have to talk about. I mean, we both, enjoyed the show very much. Their audio mixing is like unfathomably bad, man. Like, what the fuck are they doing at this point with those shows? It sounds terrible. I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand how they manage it every single week, but I don't know. That limited things slightly. Okay, what was your favorite thing on tonight's show, Manny? I'm intrigued.
Danielson and Jericho.
Yeah, me too. Can we talk about the fact that Chris Jericho, because he was blocking the chops like by moving his arm in, was happening. It was happening so often. And Bryan was chopping so hard that this part of Jericho's arm was fucking red from blocking the chops, which I can honestly say I have never seen before. He legitimately looked like he lost years of his life in that match because Bryan was hitting him so fucking hard. There was one moment where he punched Bryan's foot, which legitimately made me throw my arms in the air. I was so excited.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Amazing. What an amazing fucking. Every time I think Jericho, I wonder about Jericho. Every time I question him, it's back, man. It's back. He can't. He pulls it off. This match, honestly, I thought the match would be good. I thought it would be better than the pay per view match. I thought this blew away my expectations. I think it's probably the same for you, right? This was fucking awesome.
They set the tone when they just went at each other and started like chopping each other, hitting each other.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were gonna do like the same thing like they did in their all out match, and they just like grappled and stuff. But
Yeah,
man, they went in there with like this intensity that they really wanted this AEW World Title, and like you just see JJ posted it on his Twitter of the camera shot of them seeing the world title and Danielson no selling those elbows, and I said, "Let's fucking go, bro. We're going to the promised land. He's gonna get us there."
absolutely. It's the kind of match that like it elevates the whole process of a tournament because the tournament so far, it's like Bryan and Hangman was obviously what you're looking for in terms of top level pro wrestlers, but for whatever reason, we can get into it a little bit later. But like the other side of the bracket to me was kind of like it felt like it's kind of mid card shit. As much as I love Mox, it didn't feel like it had much magnitude or gravity. This is the kind of match, especially in the main event spot, that really made this tournament and this pursuit of the belt feel like truly important. And having the finish be as like clean as it was and no horse shit, and the way that Bryan had to like fight to get the submission, man, I just thought it was great. And I have to say, like, look, I think we both are always in awe of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, who is just whenever you doubt him for a second, he's going to prove you wrong. Jericho was fucking good tonight, man. Like, I don't know how many more of these he's got left, but this and the Moxley match in the last couple months, he's shown there's still something in there. Something is in there.
I get so I get so scared when he does that Hurricane Rana from the top rope. Yeah. I'm like, is this gonna be the day where he just completely misses the person and just falls straight on his back?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, when in doubt, he always comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but yeah, he just like he comes, he just comes out and like just shows out, and I'm just like, man, like, is this like the best time in Jericho's career? Like, I don't think I've only seen bits and pieces of his whole career, But this is my first
Yeah.
time seeing this whole New Japan AEW run of his, and I just feel like this is just some
In the time
generational
you've
stuff.
watched him, this is probably his best year. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
his best career year was like
Oh, wait.
2008, 2000, yeah, 8, 9 was wherever he wrestled Ray a lot. Those matches were fucking awesome. I try to remember like in between there. The list stuff was really good. You wouldn't like it, but it was very good WWE TV. But in terms of like high end matches, I will say the first Eddie match, this match, and the Moxley match are like three of Jericho's best matches. I genuinely believe that, and he's like 51. So he's doing pretty fucking well. I mean, it's very impressive in that regard. In terms of Bryan, I couldn't mean this with less. I mean it with all love to Moxley. Like, I couldn't mean it as less of a knock on Mox because it has nothing to do with him. But watching this, bro, we need to make this dude the world champ. Like, honestly, I love Moxley. It will feel like a genuine mistake if Bryan doesn't get this belt. Like, it feels fresh, man. Isn't it weird how like it feels like they've hardly scratched the surface with Bryan as a main event wrestler this year? And I
No,
think it
dude.
shows in matches like this, man. He's so fucking good.
Especially with that Seattle show coming up in a couple
Yeah.
months. I know people are saying that MJF should beat Danielson right away at the next pay per view, but I mean, you got to keep it till he's in.
Yeah.
So he's in Seattle, and and then on top of that, I'm already like when I saw that date, I just started running my mind like Danielson versus Swerve in Seattle, or Danielson versus Darby in Seattle. I'm just like, man, there's no need to, because like we know MJF has that chip forever. He can just be like,
Yeah.
creeping around, with that chip, waiting to cash it in. So we don't have to worry about that. But I mean, this is the time to strike right now when everybody's out and give Danielson that world title run that we all want.
I agree. I really think the play is actually doing. I think you should do Moxley and MJF at Full Gear as a non-title.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're kind of building anyway. That's the conflict. It doesn't need the belt. Bryan, you could do a whole range of things with him as champ because he's fresh. Like at the chat the other day, everyone was saying King. Hopefully, King's back soon, and that's like an easy one. Like, if your top two matches at Full Gear with Bryan and Eddie, Moxley and MJF, like, it fucking works for me. I think you can do that. So it's interesting, man. I do want to. I'm hesitant on this topic because I don't want to get myself to a position where I'm disappointed if John fucking Moxley wins. Like, I think we both love John Moxley,
Yeah.
but I must admit, it sure feels like the time right now. Shout out to Franco, who cheered 69 bits. Nice. Yeah, hell of a main event.
I know his friend, Ego guy, the Ego dude from
Ethan Page?
No, his other friend Ego said that they're supposed to go fishing or something, and he was mad about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Moxley would be really upset if Tony just told him, "Hey, can you just work for another 2 more weeks and then you can go on vacation?"
Yeah.
So when he said that, something in my head rings like, is he just not gonna go on vacation and that's why he's mad about it? Or even Dave kept saying that he thinks it's MJF and Moxley for the title at Full Gear.
That's what they're building. Like, MJF's promo tonight was aimed at Moxley.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know. I mean, like, it's hard, man. Like, I think we all want Mox to get his time, but at the same point, like, if I was booking that show, I would sure be saying to him, brother, I need you right now. Like, we're in a particular position. As much as I would love for him to take a break, I can see why Tony can't be like, just give me a couple more months to skip through this fall, Like, it's a crazy time right now, bro. But they're missing 2 of their top 4 guys, and they're missing their top tag team. Like, it's hard. I don't know.
And the funny thing too, if Danielson wins the world title, you can just you have fresh matches on top. Then on top of that, you can pull from New Japan and get some of these dream matches out of the way too. Unlike same thing what you had with Moxley as champ. You just pull from different people and you're just like, dang, here we go.
Fuck, that is a really good point. Yeah, you could do some really creative stuff from his champ. Like, honestly, imagine him. See, this is the problem. He can't work the Tokyo Dome anymore, can he? Because that shows the 5th. Fuck. Imagine him defending that belt on the Tokyo Dome. That'd be so awesome. Him and Zach for the world title.
That thought came in my mind. Then as soon as I was about to tweet it, I saw somebody. I refreshed my Twitter and I said, "Man, he can't do Tokyo Dome because it's the next night." And I said,
"Yeah, man. Bro, I'm in the States in a couple months, and I'm in Atlantic City when they are for Rampage, and like, I'm going to that show because I've never.
Yeah, it's like you need to be. But
that like week waiting for them to announce something for that show. Because Rampage, you basically have 2 free slots for stuff to be good, right? Like, I mean, I'll have
Yeah.
fun, but let's be honest, it ain't Dynamite. You're going to get like 2 serious matches on Rampage, and like the chances of me hitting on one of those, God bless, it's going to be very stressful.
I would have thought you were going to be on a good streak because the last 2 weeks the Rampage has been good, and then this week Tony's like, they're getting a good Rampage next week. We'll give them something, but nothing too crazy this week. And
I think that's one of those cases where Tony sees Joe the way you and I do.
Yeah.
And he's like, they got Joe. Fuck are they complaining about? You know what I mean? Like, I think he'll book a strong, like, they're only at, Ballpark Hall, Atlantic City. Surely it will be a that's a pretty crazy place to run Rampage on its own anyway. So hopefully I'm okay.
Oh, it's just Rampage on its own?
Yeah, just Rampage. Bro, Rampage is like, if all of October, basically, it's on its own. That's the first week of November. They've just announced this on its own. Like,
so that's the only date they've announced, right? That's not like on its own. Yeah, because if I'm Tony, I'm trying to run. If I'm doing Rampage live, I'm trying to do weird small venues like the Hammerstein or the ECW Arena.
Me too.
You know,
that's not what they're doing here.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big building. That building had fucking WrestleMania 4 in it, for Christ's sake. Yeah, it's interesting. I must admit, as just a fan, I love that Rampage is going to be live a lot because, like, it's just better, right? It's a more fun product. But I must admit, looking at the ticket numbers, it does not really feel like the time to start doing 2 live TVs every week. But, God bless, good luck, right? Hopefully it all works out. They're doing a Halloween at Live Rampage on the 28th for a casino in. My God.
Well, it's funny because like Tony Khan waited to do huge venues once tickets stop selling out, which is crazy. Yeah, which is kind of crazy. I'm like, bro, you could. Why don't you run these big venues when you had like the momentum, and now when the momentum stopped, you're like, time to run the big venues.
Yeah, Atlantic City for Rampage, brother. I'm not asking for a lot, Manny. All I'm saying is, I know you have like connects. Can we get like Eddie Kingston and John Moxley versus the Briscoes? Could you imagine?
I'll DM Tony. I got a Lucha Bros and Swerve, so
you did, yeah. The Rampage shows are actually doing pretty well so far. So hopefully, if they rebuild the audience's trust to and put on good shows, like people will be more willing to keep going. So I'm pretty, look, honestly, I have fun regardless. Anyway, back to Dynamite. Main event, fucking ruled. The next best friend of the show, I think we both agree, was the tag title match, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be. Swerve, everyone in this match is obviously great. This is not news, but like Swerve he's in a special place right now. Like he's finally, to me, this last 3-4 months, he's finally clicking in terms of like his whole potential. Not like 70% of himself that's already an upper mid card. I'm talking about like the guy that can be one of the top 4 or 5 people in the whole promotion eventually. He's getting to that point. It's really cool to see. The way he can wrestle with personality, but he can also do these like modern spectacles and thrills that, guys like Ray Phoenix can. He can match Ray Phoenix in that regard to an extent, as much as one can match Ray Phoenix. He's real special. Everyone involved in this match is special. I thought the tag match was fucking awesome. Manny, you requested it. What did you think of the tag title match?
It delivered, and of course, this was the match that got everybody on their feet and alive. Yeah. And just that finishing sequence from the Spanish Fly to the Canadian Destroyer was just like, what a great moment for AEW. I just like popped up from my chair, and I was like, that DiCaprio when he's just like that, like he's pointing at the TV. I did that. I said, there you go. That's it right there. And like, and the cool thing about this match was like, there's like so much history. Like you have Swerve and Phoenix from Lucha Underground.
Mm-hmm.
I think Swerve wrestled Pentagon in like a PCW weird match.
My God.
And then like I'm pretty sure Keith Lee wrestled the Lucha Bros at PWG.
Wow.
Can somebody look it up for me?
Yeah, someone in the chat do that. Point out. That's why though, as a big man, like genuinely, that's why Keith wrestling the way he does is an asset, because he doesn't really take that many crazy bumps. So when he took that Canadian, everyone stood up. It was fucking amazing.
I was shocked that Penta took the fall too because he never takes the fall.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they convinced him to take it. But it ruled. Like I remember, I just like watched it. And I said, "They're gonna break this up, right?" And then when it hit 3, I said, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah.
Penta took the fall, and then Keith Lee throwing Phoenix into the pin attempt to break it up. Never seen it, and that ruled so much.
Yeah, and it's the other thing too is now that they've done it once, like he's gonna do that spot more, and he's gonna start like getting bold with it because this time because he didn't want to fuck it up because like it's a ridiculous spot. He noticed he threw him at like 1.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're gonna have a match at some point. And Keith's gonna throw that bro like fucking 2.9. throw him in there. He's gonna be even better because you could tell that Keith was like, let's make sure we just do it right. I don't fuck this up. But it was incredible. I mean, Lucha Bros are honestly, legitimately, if the Oracle of Wrestling hit was here, he'd have a heart attack. But they are probably the most like underrated asset in like all of wrestling. Because when everyone's like when you have injuries and stuff like that, you realize they're so popular. Their matches are always exciting TV. They can both be valuable as singles wrestlers. Like if you were looking at it as like trade assets, you and I pop all the time about like the trade machine. Genuinely, their value does not get stated. Like they're like a real important act for them. Like they're like major stars in that promotion and just in wrestling in general. They're like top guys. It's pretty fucking awesome, honestly.
The funny thing too is about them is like I remember listening to like a AAA space, and then I think it was Hugo asked him like, "What is Tony not seeing y'all? You should be big stars." And then Penta responded like, "I don't know. We just like to wrestle." And that's pretty much all it was. He said we're just gonna keep going out there and wrestle. So it's just like, man, when they go out there, they just steal the show from anybody that's out there. And like you said, they can be single stars all they want, but I think the tag division really needs them.
Oh yeah.
And we saw something so special today during that segment. We had Swerve in Our Glory that's super over. We had the Lucha Bros that are super over. Then the Acclaim came out and just had as loud as pop as anybody on that show come out, and I'm like, bro, we have 3 over tag teams, and that's not including FTR and the Bucks that weren't on today's show. So
yeah, no, you're right. That's a good point.
Sure. And they're all babyface teams, pretty much.
Yeah.
Besides
no, you're right. Yeah, Swerve's a heel, but they're ultimately they're like a babyface team. Yeah, it's really interesting, man. Like, I think on a national promotion like this with this kind of roster, they are definitely more valuable as a team. But the fact that if you were like in a tough spot and you had a lot of injuries, you could just make Rey Fenix a main event singles. It's like, fuck, they're just so valuable, and they never fail them when like featured. So it's very cool to see them in this spot. Very, very cool.
And I feel like AEW also has like the advantage over WWE or any other major promotion, because they have Lucha. Because just look at all the luchadors they have. Yeah. They have my boy Roosh, Andrade, Pentagon, and Phoenix, and then they might bring in Dorado. So I mean,
I assume Dragon Lee will be back as well.
Oh yeah, and Dragon Lee's coming back. Yeah,
if he actually never comes back, that would be one of the funniest runs in the history of wrestling. He fights his brother in Ring of Honor, reunites his brother, and then gets the shit kicked out of him as his mask taken off.
And I hope they bring him back. They set up a whole angle with him too, like being helped up by the Elite and everything. So, I mean, and then hopefully Bandito comes in.
This is true. I think this is still one of the most. I don't think they'll ever quite top that one for me. The Lucha Bros winning the tag belts, and then like Penta going over to his kid. That was like peak wrestling,
And his daughter crying because her dad's bleeding all over the places.
All over, yeah. Just fucking. If you watch that back, I've said this before on here, but like Alex and Phoenix are like screaming at Penta, like, we need to get back because they're taking so long. And Penta's like, fuck off, man. I just did a cage match. Let me go for my kid to get it. It's the coolest shit ever. That show was such a magical night. But yeah, Lucha Bros, shout out to him. It was a really, really fun match. One quick thing on the booking front. This is like saying that Tony Khan needs to do more of. Because, you tweeted about this and you nailed it. they're going to lose these belts next week, right? They're claimed to not losing twice. They're going to win these things in New York City. And that's, God bless them. They deserve it. They've earned it.
We hope so.
It seems like it, right? It'd be pretty. I'd be stunned if they booked a rematch not to do a title change. So this is one of those things where, as a booker, he could burn a match because he knows that these factors are not going to be there again. Swerve and Keith are not going to be the champs again because they're going to split before they're the champs again. So it's a chance to do a match that otherwise would be lost because it didn't make perfect sense. It doesn't need to make perfect sense to be good TV. He has to get better at this because otherwise you have scenarios like Malachi leaving after a year and you look at who Malachi wrestles and you're like, wait, what the fuck? It felt like he hardly touched anyone in the promotion. You can just burn matches sometimes. You legitimately have 40 guys that are like real TV players. Sometimes just do a match. Did any of us think they were going to lose these titles? No. Was it the most exciting thing on the TV show at that point? Yes. Just do this shit sometimes, man. Throw stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like, be brave with that stuff. You ain't going to hurt you, Nick. Because here's the thing. They could always rematch anyway. It fucking ruled, you know? Well.
And plus, on top of that, nobody cares. They're going to lose. Especially if you have a match like that.
Yeah. The audience doesn't care at all, bro. The audience is like, I would rather see my favorite wrestler wrestle on the TV show and lose than just see them wrestle on Dark forever, right? And we can all agree on that. Like, it's just, that's where I think I would rather he pick like his core for TV and beat them all on TV than like the thing he does where he's so protective that he has everyone on the show at once. You know what I mean? It's just.
I think that's the problem with FTR right now. That Tony doesn't want to keep giving them wins because if they keep winning, they're just like.
That's why they haven't wrestled a tag match in so long. Yeah, it's like because I know everyone got mad about Casual 2, but like that is if you look at the last time I wrestled a tag match, it's like crazy. It's like ridiculous. So it's because of what you just said, the ranking stuff and the fucking. So it's challenging sometimes. I don't really know the best way to play that out, honestly, because FTR, like if you're going to the Acclaim, you shouldn't be trying to go to FTR right away. You should give the Acclaim a chance to have a real run, right? So. And it also feels like the team that beats the Acclaim should be heels. It should be either your guys, Andrade and Roosh, or it should be like Buddy and Brody, or the Briscoes, or someone like, you know, someone that could be a heel. Because I assume they're going to bring the Briscoes in as heels.
Well, that'd be cool if the Briscoes beat them. Then you could just do FTR and the Briscoes again and then.
I will say, be very careful on some of those Briscoes promos, but we'll leave that there and proceed. Just quickly catch up our mouth. The Jericho Danielson match, we both loved it. It fucking ruled.
I agree with Willie. I don't really see the Hobbs squashing really helping him.
I don't either. But I do believe in like sometimes you need to like the repetition's important, I think.
Yeah.
I think it would do more for Hobbs, objectively speaking, if he was beating like if he was just feuding with a guy of relevance, you know, which I know he is right now with Ricky. What I'm saying is just generally is like a concept. But in fairness, the Wardlow squashes work for Wardlow. So
yeah,
maybe it will help. I don't know. I don't disagree with Willie, though. I think he's actually correct with the modern audience, to be honest with you. But, let's talk about that now for a second. How did you feel about Hobbs doing a Sam Joe tribute spot, getting busted open in a quick match there? His fucking mouth was all bleeding and shit.
So was that what busted him open, or was it Ricky Starks punching him?
Oh no, it was before because when he was doing his promo, his mouth was all bleeding. So it was they must have like clashed heads in the match or something. I don't know what he did. Wait,
that rules.
Please tell me this is not what happened. Is this actually what happened? Demon Grin is claiming that he like he hit himself in the face. No way. He was really struggling. Like his promo was good. I like Hobbs' promo, but he was like in between his lines. You could see he was like dealing with the blood, and he was trying like he didn't know if it's like swallow the blood. It was rough. I don't envy it. Tough.
Really? That's what I feel like you'd be able to still talk if you have blood in your mouth. I mean,
no, he was but in between. He was like he was trying to lick his lip. It was weird. It was weird.
Oh,
made me uncomfortable to you, man. You should watch it. It was weird. Good promo. I mean, I love Hobbs. Great talent.
Yeah, I was walking around when it happened, and I was just listening to it on my thing. I said, "Why are they cheering for him?" And I come back and I see mysterious Starks just walking down and all surrounded by darkness.
He looked really cool tonight, bro.
Yeah,
he looked really cool. He did that look at the camera with the eyebrow. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he looked so mad too.
Yeah, it was really cool. I loved his whole vibe tonight. He just came across like superstar. I assume they're going to wrestle after Ash, my guess. Would you
Oh,
assume so?
maybe a lights out match.
Maybe that could close. That could actually close the tapings. Last year they closed it with lights out. Remember?
Yeah,
So,
they do lights out. Ricky gets his win. It doesn't hurt Hobbs's
mhm.
record, and then Starks goes on a feud with Jericho or something.
So how did we do on our after Ash predictions? So we got right. So Moxley and Bryan's now locked in. Obviously, we knew the tag title match. We didn't get anything from the Yuta Claudio FTR front. That feels like a Rampage stuff thing, right?
Yeah,
They're going to do some Rampage. Serena and Tony was instead a four-way, which actually caught me way off guard. I was kind of stunned that Athena crept into that. Garcia and Jericho feels likely, but I'm not certain. We know that the Bronson match is happening. Pack and Orange, we got right. By we, I mean the chat got right and we repeated them. There was nothing Jade, correct?
no,
Nothing
nothing
Jade.
for Jade.
I think someone in the chat said this last week, actually, so I want to give them props on this. I think they're going to do Wardlow and Joe versus Woods and Nice. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. Because did you notice they reminded us again of the Wardlow thing this week in the promo? I think Joe's going to beat Woods. The Hill's going to put the boots to him. Wardlow's going to make the save, and it'll be like they'll just kick the shit out of them on Rampage next week.
Actually, sounds like a fun match.
Yeah, it'll be good. I mean, I don't think they'll sell from it. Obviously, it'll be limited. It'll be limited as like a squash, but it would be good if they had a real match. I think that's the thing. It could be Willow. She's wrestling Penelope.
Well, didn't they do that match like 3 times already?
It also, like, I love Willow. Kind of feels like Penelope should win, right?
Yeah.
Like, as a heel, I should probably give her a TV win. And Willow gets over in defeat, so I'd probably have Penelope win.
I think they might have figured out this whole women's situation.
Oh,
The like division. They kind of just moved like the better wrestlers up to the.
wild, right?
They moved all the better wrestlers to the title picture because they're like, oh, we
Mhm.
got a good women's wrestler now as a champ, and
It's wild, bro. Like when you do like matches with good wrestlers and they're good, it's like fuck. We should have been doing this the whole time. That match tonight, it's still out now. Finish went a little off the rails, and the actual finish itself, whoever said that was a good idea shouldn't have a Stern talking to, because Britt standing there like this, like it was a fucking like she was putting something in the oven. The fuck. But the work in that match was really high level. Like the Serena Athena stuff was like, and I don't mean that as a look. Tony's damn good too, and you know, Britt's fun. But this Serena Athena business was fucking high level. I really like the tag match. What do you think, man?
man, Athena's offense is just brutal. I was just like, man, I thought she killed Deeb multiple times. I was just like, I thought she also broke her nose when they did that weird flip thing, and Serena landed on her face on her knees. I said, oh, I hope Deeb's all right. The match is gonna be like pretty much messed up if they don't do it. And then Toni Storm, when she comes out with that title, man, it just looks like perfect on her.
She looked very confident. I thought very confident.
Yeah.
She seems like she's really like fired up for this kind of building the division around her. This idea. I don't know if it will happen or not. Obviously, she got pinned tonight, which is very funny. But we'll see.
Well, to be fair, just like the last 2 weeks, it kind of felt like the division has been being built around her, and it feels like there's been a lot of emphasis on trying to make her the top person, and she's also getting huge reactions.
I think,
which is a plus.
to be totally honest, I'm not convinced they were going to do a 4-way before. I think they were going to do like Serena and Tony, and she was going to beat Sheeta. I don't think Tony wanted to beat Athena again. I think it's what happened, genuinely, because Athena just got pinned by Jade. I don't think so. I think they audibled, and his thought process was, Tony's going to win next week. So it's like, it's that 50-50 thing. Like, it will undo this. Whether that's true or not, people can debate forever, but I think that's what the idea is. Tony will win next week so it doesn't hurt her. Athena is not winning next week so it's not pin her here, I think was the idea. But I get why people are upset about the finish. I like the match, and to be totally honest, on a completely personal bias level, I just fucking wanted to see Athena wrestle on TV. I feel like I've hardly seen her wrestle any real matches on TV show. I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good match. So there's that. Anything else on the women's tag? It was a good time.
I just hope people don't say that they need a tag division title now, because they don't.
Well, maybe if we like hired Britt there, it could be good.
That's Britt's just if Britt is just a tag wrestler, then sign me up. I mean, just put
Yeah.
her in there because she's a really good tag wrestler
She's good in
and
things,
a
yeah.
deathmatch wrestler. But besides that, just I don't know how she can't make that into a singles kind of run.
Hmm.
But and also Hater. I want to how over she is with the crowd.
I don't even know when that really happened. Because, like,
I
she
think it
was,
happened on Twitter first and then just translated
yeah,
to
because at the pay per view, they were like chanting, they were just chanting for Hater the whole time. They didn't chant for anyone else. It was kind of wild. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun to see that happen. I hope they kind of get moving with that. I didn't mind what they did with her tonight, but it was kind of, I'm kind of ready for like a big development on the Jamie Hater front.
yeah. That's kind
Hopefully
of
we get that.
weird. Yeah, I was just why don't you just hit her with it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it sets up. I think it sets up Tony Storm for like 2 feuds. It sets
for
like
sure.
she's already feuding with Deeb, I think, and then
Yeah, I think they're gonna
with
do.
Hater.
It'll be interesting what they do at Full Gear because the fact that it isn't a deep singles makes me think they might just save that for the pay per view. But like, I don't know, man. I don't
Deeb
know
to
if you
the
need to do
rescue.
that. Yeah, I mean, I actually like Serena a lot. I think she's such a good wrestler, but I don't know if you need to do another pay per view program with her. You know what I mean? I think that could be a mistake in some ways, but it will be interesting. Hopefully, like it's been nice the last few weeks with good things to say about these matches. Hopefully that continues. I don't think the formula's that complicated. It was never that complicated. They just made it that way. So hopefully, we keep. I think Athena should genuinely like. She should wrestle on one of the two TV shows every week. She's so good at TV wrestling, man. Because her shit's like eye catching and it's like explosive. That move she does, the one you mentioned earlier with the knees, she's like on her shoulders and like throws one
Yeah,
through her knees. It's fucking insane. She's like a power wrestler at like 4'11". She fucking rules, man.
I'm
I
always
know
afraid she's
her
gonna hurt
promos suck.
herself.
Yeah, I know. Look, I know her promos are not that good, but like, she's just so good. She don't get nearly enough respect for how good she actually is. Like,
Well,
honestly,
I,
she's such a good wrestler.
I think she might be coming into her own with the promos because I don't
I
even think
agree. Yeah.
she's as bad as she was before.
I don't
Same
either.
thing. Same thing with guys like Claudio and stuff like that. You hear like they're really bad promos, and then AW, they're just
Because they
pretty
just let
good. I
them
mean,
be. Yeah, you don't have to.
yeah,
They're not blowing anyone away, but I just think you let them be. Like, look, she's a dork. She's a nerd. She's not cool. But it's like if I was booking that division, I have way bigger concerns than Athena not being cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't worry about Athena. It's always my take. It's like she'll get over out there. She can go and wrestle. She's fine. Um, so yeah, she fucking rules. Serena is fucking awesome. Tony looked really confident out there. Britt Baker is very good in the tag team setting. A lot of praise for the women involved. I wish the finish was executed better because they were clearly trying to protect Tony. But my God, the way they did it just looked like shit. So it kind of killed it. But you get what you get, I suppose. All right. I don't want to be mean about Sammy Guevara. But
man, you can't be wrestling with your cheeks out like that. Come on, man. Like,
I
there's
forgot
kids
about
watching.
that.
There's kids
So
watching.
I didn't think the match was like bad at all. I thought it was like pretty good. But Sammy's doing this thing, and someone said it on Twitter, and I forget who it was. But like, he's trying to wrestle as a heel, but it's like all of the things that Sammy's good at is just being like a reckless lunatic and like doing dives and stuff. And he did a couple dives, but when he was in control of this match, I just thought it was so fucking dull. And the crowd was not like when he was in control of this match, the crowd was not like going crazy booing. They just kind of was waiting for Moxley to get back on offense. And it was a fine match. It was pretty good even. I didn't think it was anything, below that. But it's just like Moxley's got such a high standard right now. I don't know, man. I would be very tempted to give Sammy a few months away and let people just hope people will miss him a little bit because I don't really buy that this heat is good heat at all. I think like the crowd's kind of just out. I don't know. What do you think of the opener, Manny? Maybe I'm wrong here.
The the weird thing about Sammy is just like he wrestles like a baby face and everybody wants to cheer him,
Yeah,
but everything about him is just screams heel. And I think he's just having a hard time translating his in ring
I agree.
to his heel work. And the only way I think he realizes he can get heat is by just making out with Tay
Mm-hmm.
and doing that stuff, which I wouldn't really. That's not my kind of thing, and I wouldn't really be doing it. I would just have him act like a dick and then just wrestle like a babyface. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's just
No, I don't get me wrong. It's just it was very like it was very noticeable about Ty out there that like the heat was not really there.
it,
And yeah, I don't know.
the crowd was into him when they weren't out there. It's just once,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not that they don't like care at all. It's like the way people talk about it on the internet, you'd think he's getting like booed out the building and like they're like really rabid for when the babyface makes a comeback, and like they're not. They just sort of sat there when he was in control of the match. I don't think he really knows how to like do a heat segment or a control segment. Um, Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he knows a lot about it, and I'm being a dumb fuck. But I just think I think you spot on. I think he's struggling to figure out how he should wrestle in this role. I rewatched it because I watched Rampage on the air, and I was kind of half focused on Tony Jack, but I watched it back, and like that was like the weakest match he's had with Darby by far.
yeah.
Because he didn't want to do like a spot fest because he's a heel, right? You could see he didn't want to do that, but it's like shit, man. If you don't do a spot fest, like, what is Sammy without the spots? Like he's just kind of like a guy. There's not like he's not like a guy with enough range to do other stuff. So I don't know. Let me be clear. The match wasn't bad. I think we both agree it was like it was fine. Right? It was pretty good. But for John Moxley's high standards, it was not quite that, unfortunately.
I'm not. He was. It seemed like he was hanging with Mox for a bit, like
Yeah.
in the ring. Like he didn't look out of place.
No.
It just felt like he fell out of place once the closing stretch of the match. You know, like where all that stuff was coming out. Yeah.
You never believed he was going to beat John Moxley. The
Yeah.
audience didn't either. And that's the thing. It's like, that's fine to a level. But no one in that audience believed he was going to win until they did the tie thing. That got a pretty good reaction, right? And the finish got over. So the finish got over great. So good job. You know, it was not like it was a fucking miss or anything. But during the meat of the match, you could tell that they were there to see Moxley's shit. And when Sammy was in control, it was kind of like it wasn't the same. So it is what it is. I don't know.
And I like Sammy's offense because it seemed like it fit right in there with Moxley. Both of their offenses are explosive and physical. So which rules? I just kind of wish he relied on that more as a heel instead of just his flips and stuff.
He's trying to. I think he's trying to basically do two things at once. Like, and it's like I think he needs to just sort of pick what he's going to be as a heel. And again, this is true. This is what I was just referencing with Ty. That low blow spot got over huge. The actual finish itself, people came up for big. So like, it wasn't a complete disaster. It was, it was pretty good. I can't honestly, in good faith, tell you that he should be at this level on this roster for like a while. I don't need to see Sammy in these kind of matches, man. Like, he's solid and there's a place for him, but in a world title tournament, I'm cool on Sammy for a bit. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Crocky, did you just spoil Rampage for us?
Yeah, spoilers, brother. Wow, so what is that? So that's very interesting. We can't talk about it's about respect for the business. No Rampage spoilers here, folks. Anyway,
those matches rule. So I mean,
Manny, do you want to talk about MJF? My God,
I got sick. I just got sick thinking about it. No, I didn't know he was cutting a promo until I came back from eating my burger. So I just.
God bless. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say this. I'm very happy for everyone that enjoys MJF. A lot of people really enjoy MJF. I'm very happy for all of them. I hope to one day understand the genius at hand when it comes to MJF. Good luck. I don't know. I was very happy to see Stokely get some promo time. I felt bad for him having to follow Max in the sense that Max is super over and it was challenging. I thought he did a hell of a job. There were two really strong promo segments. Obviously, I think he would have been well served to like give Stokely his own segment because it felt like the crowd was already tired of hearing people talk. But Stokely did as good a job as he could. What did you think of the of Stokely introducing the firm?
Well, to say one more thing about MJF is like I feel like I can't believe he just came back and is doing the same thing that he was doing before.
Honestly, I've agreed with this for the longest. I think Max is like a genuinely really good worker in the promo. Yeah. I just don't get the promo stuff at all. It's not that I think he's bad. It's like people think he's like the best promo in wrestling. I'm like, what the fuck am I missing? Like it's so cookie cutter to me.
Well, I think what happened with MJF was, and this was eventually going to happen. I just think it happened really fast. Was he got over as a wrestler,
Yeah,
and now that he had, and people cheer him when he comes out sometimes because he's a good wrestler.
cheered him a lot tonight. Yeah,
Yeah, and the thing is now he's trying to battle. Now he gets to rewalk what he did as a wrestler, being good at it, and then that promo
it's
where
that.
everybody liked it in LA.
Yeah, I think that's the key. The wrestling thing's true. He got the audience's respect when he wrestled Darby and Punk, but the LA promo is the real problem. He's a babyface now, man. It's tough, and like no matter how many times he calls them fat or like losers, it just doesn't work because they know that they're all like admiring him as a heel, which is fucking he's rough to begin with. I don't know. Genuinely, I ain't saying the dude's bad because he's not. He's like obviously a good promo and he's a big star and so on and so forth. It's just I just wish I enjoyed him as much as other people do. Like genuinely, like I wish I got as much fun out of Max as oh no. Um, I just wish I had as much fun with Max's shit as a lot of people do. I just find his content to be so rough. I know it's hilarious. So anyway,
Stokely,
yeah,
I'm kind of glad that they came out and just straight up said that they're not with MJF, that they're
yeah,
just friends that are helping him out, which is cool. And I like how everybody in the faction, they aren't really connected. They're just a
right,
group of friends, pretty much. The
yeah,
firm, and like Stokely was giving everybody his agenda and what they wanted to do. Ethan Page want the All Atlantic title, which is funny. I mean, I guess it's good that Orange Cassidy might be Pac, and that makes more sense of Orange Cassidy and Ethan Page than Ethan Page versus Pac.
it's a weird fit, right? Super
Yeah,
weird fit.
and Ethan Page is probably going to win that title when they go to Canada. So,
Oh my god,
and
is that a
then
scoop?
no, I don't know. I feel like they're just going to have Ethan Page have the title when he wins in Canada, and then
Yeah.
the the Ass Boys are definitely not winning those tag titles. So I guess we will
Yeah.
hopefully not soon.
You got to be careful with that stuff, right? Like, obviously, some of the guys are going to have to achieve what they want to achieve because otherwise it will just be like, these guys are fucking losers. Why is Stokely
Well,
managing them, you know?
well, to be fair, Morris already got what he wanted, a friend. So I
True.
mean,
Yeah.
and then
Good call.
Moriarty, that's gonna rule when he eventually wrestles for the pure title.
Do you think they're going to do that next week? When are they going to do? Garcia's got to be on that show, man.
Yeah, hopefully they don't do it right away because then it's like, well,
Yeah, I get you.
what does Moriarty do now that?
I agree with this. Lee looks like he's really into this role and he's like trying to maximize his TV time, which
Well,
is
hopefully a
cool.
strikes match.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I was glad to see Stoke to get the time again. I would have moved it around the show a little bit to not go straight after Max. Already done a long promo, but it was still good. He got the time. He did a good job, and it was a worthwhile expense in terms of TV time. I thought it was necessary. So good
So
job.
I was still I was confused too. Like, you think Stokely's just gonna be coming out with MJF, or that was just like a
Yeah, I don't necessarily know what it will look like in full flight. I don't think so. I don't quite know like how this like what this looks like on weekly TV. You know, like it's
yeah
as you said, they're not all going to be connected. That's kind of the idea.
yeah. It just seems like Stokely is like Rich Paul, and he's just managing a whole bunch of players.
Yeah,
And
be
that's
interesting.
what it just seems like, yeah. And it's a good thing that Stokely isn't with Jade anymore because it didn't really
Yeah,
on paper you think it rules, but then when you see it play out, Mark Sterling was a lot better at his role
yeah,
because
because you
Jade
need
is yeah, Stokely isn't a geek, like
right.
you
You need a
boss around
punching
and make
bag.
fun of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the problem with that fit is you need the person with Jade to be a punching bag because she's the cool one. She has to dunk on the person she's with. With Stoke came in, it was like you don't want to dunk on Stoke. He's just got here, right? So it's like
yeah.
it's yeah. It's I did think this was a pretty neat little segment. I'm sure it popped you very much. I know you love Dan Housen. It was well done. It was good. It was well done comedy, Manny. You know, variety show, brother. Well done. It's
That
fine.
pizza dude.
God
Man,
bless.
what did
Respect.
wrestling become? And
Same old shit it's always been, brother. Jungle Boy and Jay Lethal, I can't pretend I paid a lot of attention to. The crowd did not appear to be thrilled, but it sounded and looked like what I saw of it was very, very solid wrestling. I was very excited, very happy when Shoot sent me your tweet, Manny, which was these lads are hooping, which was the only tweet that read that way on my whole feed. So I ask you here a couple of hours later, were those fellas hooping, Manny, or was you a little bit carried away there? What do you think?
well, the rest of us in Discord thought they were wrestling really good.
Yeah. It looked like it was very solid. Like they,
To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention until Jay Lethal hit that dive to the outside and looked like he killed Jungle Boy, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna sit down and watch the match.
I didn't pay a lot of attention to this, but I will say again,
Lethal doesn't suck. You know, his outside activities might.
activities. Jesus.
Lethal in the ring doesn't. He does not miss an AEW.
He's a good wrestler. I don't know about him being on TV every single fucking week, but he's a good wrestler. Fine. It looked like it was a very solid match. I will say from a booking perspective, these are the kind of matches I actually think they should do more often. Also, like this was not like an extended program or story. This was just a guy that you want to push and feature going to win. I know you're not a big Jack Perry fan, but it was nice to just see like a babyface win a wrestling match, and that's it. More of this, please. I would like more of this.
I thought it was weird because they said that he was Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and now he's just back to Jungle Boy, which is kind of like a disappointment.
That was strange. Yeah, I didn't understand that. I feel like he was just going to be Jack Perry now. That was weird.
Yeah. Well, this match was good too because we got two average push guys going at each other. Yeah, we don't really see that, so it's a nice change of pace.
I'm a big believer in the TV show just having these kind of matches, and it was like he just beat him. Good, it's great that a guy like that, Jake was in that feud with Christian, but it's like some of your baby faces should just win wrestling matches on the TV show. Like it's fine, and this is what Lethal's role is anyway. So it's like I thought it was if it was a refreshing move. I can't pretend I paid a lot of attention to it because, quite frankly, focus was elsewhere. But it looked like it was solid. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I just want to say Lethal is so lucky that Tony Khan is a huge fan of ROH. Because I don't know where else he'd be getting this push. He's like the only guy that left that ROH crew.
Mm-hmm.
That ROH
My God, that sounds painful. Yeah.
I don't know why my dogs did that.
You're talking about Jay Lethal, bro.
Yeah, the way Jay Lethal's getting pushed and the way that he's just like getting used is just so crazy. Out of all the ROH bunch that left, he was the one that's like huge on AEW TV.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's like the way, like the idea that there are wrestling media people that think Jay Lethal was underutilized is like disgusting to me. Like it makes me mad. Like that Alfred fucker is like, why won't they push Jay Lethal? It's like, you piece of shit. I see Jay Lethal every fucking week on the TV show. I can't escape him. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's fine. Is there anything else on Science Show that we're forgetting here? I'm trying to think if there was any other.
Did you see that 411 Mania thing?
No.
I'll just read the article title. It's something about AEW getting more time on TV.
Oh yes, no, I did. Shoot sent it to me. I got you. So basically, it was saying that there's a belief they may add like wrestling themed shows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we heard about like shoulder programming and stuff ages ago, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of never, like, other than the Road show, that was about all we got. There was talk about like 3-4 shows at one point. I don't know. Something's happening on that relationship because like Rampage being live feels like a very interesting move at this time. Combined with that, I'm like, I think to the surprise of no one, I think AEW is going to be okay when it comes to being on TV. I don't think they're going to end up on fucking Access or whatever, I think they'll be all right. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I really like tonight's show. Very different type of show. For me, that's a positive. I thought this was a lot more like sustainable and
Crockett.
steady. Yeah, bro. Well, not quite crooked, but it was like traditional TV. It was paced in a way where I was talking to my brother a lot, and we could just talk about other shit without watching the TV show like we were going to miss something because it was a fucking roller coaster ride. If you're in the chat and you prefer the roller coaster ride, I totally get it. Manny probably agrees with you. I get it. I can't, too much going on, dizzying. This is much more my speed. So I really like the show very, very much. Manny, any final thoughts on Dynamite?
Not really. It's a great show. Everybody go out of your way to watch Jericho Danielson 2. That's the only thing. Oh, and also Swerve and Lucha Bros.
Absolutely. Are you gonna write a
No,
feature about either of those? No?
no.
You were very quick there. You do not do Jericho pieces?
No, I'm just not in the mood to write right now. I told myself that I was gonna write every day,
Oh,
try to write something, and then I made that choice, and then I had to work the next day, 16 hours. And I said, after I worked the 16 hours the first day, I said, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna start Monday.
yeah.
Woke up for my long nap, and I said, you know what? This was a dumb idea for me to come up with, and I'm gonna write out every day. I'm just gonna write what I like.
So your mission statement lasted one day.
No, it lasted 4 hours, and then just...
4 hours. All right, tremendous. Are you heading to Discord after this?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
I'm gonna hang out there for a little bit too. All right, folks. We hope you've enjoyed this. Each Wednesday we're either going to do this, or some weeks we're going to do a watch along. It all depends on the way things are, figuring out. So next week it'll probably be this again. We'll try and go on before and after Ash. Obviously, it's their biggest TV show of the year. I think, kind of objectively, right? After Ash is there. That's their biggest TV. So
hopefully they sell the 2,000 tickets. I think they still have left.
You've got a few more than 2 left, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, for the current.
Oh, really?
I mean, how many have they sold?
Somebody let me know in the chat, and we'll get back to you next week.
No. Yeah, Shoot did say they sold 400, so I think they have like 20,000 left, actually. Could you imagine? Could you imagine they rocked up to After Ash Stadium for a 4-hour TV taping with 400 people in attendance?
Did you see the people at Action Bronson's Instagram posts that they were going crazy about, like, that he's on AEW? There was like UFC fighters. There was Sasha Banks. There was...
Oh my God.
Air Hawani.
Shit, we didn't even talk. That was the best thing on the whole show, dude. Why is Action Bronson the best promo on the, in the territory? Seems telling. He's fucking good.
I knew he had it in him. I watched his show Munchies, and I watched his YouTube show. He's a great artist. I just knew he had it in him, and he's a huge wrestling fan.
So
and a fashion icon to me.
Fair. In terms of the After Ash show, from what I can gather, they've sold like 11, 12,000 around that range, right?
Yeah.
What I meant was they only have 2,000 to sell because that's what the building's set up for right now. Obviously, we know it does more than that because last year it did 20, right? So that's what I was saying.
And hopefully After Ash has more food than last time.
Yeah, apparently it was like a fucking nightmare in there last time, right?
Yeah, they didn't know there was going to be that many fans, even though they sold out the venue.
Yeah, strange. Hopefully it's a good time. We'll be back for one of these then. Tomorrow night, latenightgrin.com. The Grin itself, the flagship program. Many grins to be had. I think it's going to be the core 4, I think it's myself, Shoot, Oracle, and Bobby. I don't know. We'll see. We'll let it play out. So that's tomorrow night. Friday, some other shit, I'm sure. Folks, have a good evening. Follow Manny at Manny the Hooper.
Dave Meltzer, you're fine for now.
Yeah.
No, after you're coming. We're coming. Yeah, I'm like Dana White looking for those illegal pay-per-view stream guys.
We got him. I love when he said that. We got him.
There's a van outside your house. There's like
the van is a man. That's craziness. So yeah, what was I?
Watch Cobra Kai.
Well, if you missed Grin Grappler, catch up on the YouTube gimmick now. It was a hell of a time with Alex, Bobby, and Oracle. We talked about Stan Hansen for about 2.5 hours. It was tremendous. We'll be
I
doing
can't
the
wait to
Asuka
listen.
episode soon. There you go, Manny. Manny, you get some like much later on the weekend. You'll listen to them. Yeah, hear all
Yeah, I
the
was listening on
references to
Saturday
you.
and Sunday.
There you go. All right, folks.
I can't respond till like next time I see you.
All right, folks. Have a good evening. In the meantime, enjoy this outro. Oh, well.